Friends, as a homage to one of my favorite YouTube channels, City Planner Plays, we're going to be pulling a bit of a mulligan. Specifically, in our Rags to Regency Let's Play, we're moving back to the tent. I moved us out and into a actual house a couple episodes ago, and I'm regretting the decision. It works fine. I did have to make some tweaks to it, but it's not great. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to go back to the tent lot. I'm going to expand a little bit so it works a little bit better. So let's just go ahead, let's just dive right in. All right, so you see I cleared out what was there, and I still want to keep it in the style of like a pavilion tent. These are the tents you might see in like those like medieval themed TV shows where, you know, the kingdom is, you know, touring the country or at like a battlefield and they basically living out a giant tent. I wanted to keep that in mind. I wanted to like kind of keep that theme. So I just made it a little bit bigger, and this will be like the main tent. You'll see they'll end up being like two tents, an actual building, and like a little like outdoor pavilion slash like dance floor area. But this right here, this is the main tent. So this is where Dorian and Enzo, his new fiance, will be spending their time. It's going to be, you know, have a bedroom, have a dining room, have a kitchen and bathroom. The way I do it is, I don't know how well it's going to work. We'll probably want to play test this in an episode, but since it is a tent, I figured it wasn't actually going to have like rigid walls. So I ended up using like those room dividers and kind of split out some areas. I did put like doors in, so I had to put like some like half walls to kind of facilitate that, but it's actually going to be like completely open, which, considering there's a bathroom and kitchen here, we might have some, I guess, moodlet issues around like privacy. Well, if I need to change it, we'll change it, but for right now I think this will be okay. But in the video right now, we're kind of doing like a little outside entrance, little canopy area. I put the beams in mainly I wanted to be able to hang overhead lights but not have them floating. Since this is a tent, we're not going to have like a structured ceiling, so I kind of used the columns as like tent poles to kind of help like facilitate that. So I hung some lights off of them, and also gives it a little more structure because, you know, a tent, it's not going to be completely open inside. There's going to be support beams there. But I also use these as kind of like ways to like kind of match, like section off the rooms. And you can see here, I started using like the 3-piece dividers that were kind of folded, but I think like the solid pane, which I think came from Sleek Bathroom Kit. I'm not 100% sure right now. I think that kit is where those were from. So you see I'm kind of sectioning off like 2 rooms on the right and a big room on the left. That's gonna be the master bedroom. And I figured in the middle area we'd have like a little dining slash like, you know, meeting area potentially. So I kept everything lightly decorated. Honestly, I'm not even sure if my current family is going to be able to afford this as it is right now. So we're probably going to cheat a little bit. Since they just became a duke, we'll pretend that they're getting, like, in addition to their salary, they got like a stipend from the kingdom or something. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, so we're just kind of putting together like the dining room. I did want to include a bar just because, you know, I wanted to include a bar. But the bedroom, I think it turned out pretty nicely. I took advantage of the tent area just to make it kind of put everything a little kind of haphazard, because you figure you're not going to have like, this isn't meant to be like a permanent structure. So you're not going to have like stuff laid out neatly. You're just going to put it wherever, kind of hope for the best. But I did want to make sure they have a bed, a dresser, a desk with a computer. We actually haven't needed to use a computer too much for this playthrough. But you figure better safe than sorry. I don't know. I'm assuming we have 3. I think we're at level 7 in the career. So I think we have 3 more tiers to go. So at the very least, we have 3 more episodes. We might need to use a computer. Who knows? But anyway, yeah, finishing up the bedroom. Dining room, I just expanded like one of those, I guess, the little runway rugs that came with Royalty and Legacy, kind of make it like the runner just goes to the whole thing. And the kitchen, just kept it basic. Didn't do a lot of decorating in here just because it's a tent, so you're not really going to put up too much stuff on the wall. I did put a couple things, but nothing like too crazy, I don't think. But I think it turned out okay. We have all the essentials. It is probably a bit simple for, you know, what's considered to be like a royal family, but you know, these are newcomer royals, or at least Dorian is. I think Enzo has been whatever for a while. But yeah, we did the kitchen, did the bathroom. Like I said, with the room dividers instead of actual walls, I'm not sure if this is going to cause issues like gameplay. So I know the Sims, like if you try to walk into the toilet while someone's using the bathroom, there's, you know, you get the privacy little status effects or whatever. I don't know what they're called off the top of my head, but I'm assuming we may run into some of that, so I may need to switch this up. but for right now, I think it kind of fits the vibe, and yeah, we'll see. So we're just kind of finishing off the main house now, and now we're building a little side tent, which I'm using as like the kids space. So this is going to basically have 3 rooms, like their little bedroom area, full bathroom, and then a little front area. I was originally going to try to see if I can fit like a bed in here for like a nanny, but it was already getting kind of tight, so we figured we'll just keep it as the kids' beds. And as I was building this, I forgot that my kids are still infants, so I don't think they'll actually be able to use the beds we have set up in here, but I may age them up anyway. So this isn't, like Rags to Regency isn't a legacy challenge. We're just trying to get through the career. I wasn't necessarily expecting to have kids right away, but I forgot that I had Risky Woohoo set to 100% in MC Command Center, and this was a sim Dorian who I was using for my 100 baby challenge, so they had the ability to get pregnant. So they had a fun night with Enzo, and then they had twins like 3 days later. So as you do, use protection, friends, or make sure your Risky Woohoo isn't set to 100%. But yeah, anyway, just a basic bathroom, couple of vanities, and yeah, you'll just see like I did put a little like the training toilets in here in addition to a real one, because I will, maybe we'll do some potty training with the kids. I don't know, or let the nanny do that. I'm a royal. I'm a duke now. I think I'm a duke. So I have stuff to do, friends. I have places to go, people to see. I got a kingdom to help Dukey fit. Whatever. I don't know. Anyway, just finishing up the kids' room right now. So yeah. And then this next bit over here, I'm not sure 100% sure about this, so we may end up changing this, but I figured it would probably make sense to maybe have like an actual building on site. And my thought was this could have been like an old like medieval like watchtower or something that was, originally run down but has since been converted. So basically I used this as like a throne room. So I made it 2 tiers, but the top tier is basically just like windows, so you just get like huge columns of light. I don't particularly like the fact that the first floor is only small wall height, but I wanted the tent to be small wall height, and because it's on the same floor, it has to be the same. That's a little annoying. I wish like I could have, faked it. I could have put this up on like the 2nd and 3rd floor and just like drag it down. But as far as gameplay goes, it's easier just to have it all like actually on the first floor. Hoping in a future game or Project X, if that's supposed to be the next iteration of The Sims, you can do custom wall heights for different rooms, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, just finishing this up. This one was pretty straightforward. I think this one I pretty much only use Royalty and Legacy and that Castle Estate kit, just because I like the vibes to kind of give it like an old medieval style thing. But I put the throne in. I'm kind of sticking with like the gold and the green just because I like that aesthetic, and that's kind of one we've been sticking with so far. I think it's also the same color throne that Princess Cordelia has, which is probably why I like it, because we were borrowing her throne for our first 3 rounds of promotion. I did put up on a platform just to give it a little ambiance, and I put some chairs beside it because I figured that would be like the royal court. So like Enzo, eventually like one of the kids, I think I forget her name off the top of my head, but the one our daughter is like the heir apparent, had some chairs off to the side for advisors. Other than that, just putting out a little bit of decoration and some lighting. Nothing too crazy, but yeah, so that's pretty much it for our converted watchtower / throne room. And then last but not least, I wanted to have like a place to like for people to like congregate, or like I don't want to say hold court. You can technically hold court out here. So I built like a little platform / like pavilion area with an outdoor throne, and I figured maybe on nicer days, Sim Dorian can sit out here and hold court. I did put some stereos up and a dance floor, so if they wanted to do dancing out here, they could. We were also trying to do, well, I'll say trying to do, it was only for like a single episode. We were trying to do some artwork. We're trying to sell some artwork just to make some extra money. I'm assuming you could put that yard sale painting thing on top of the dance floor and still sell stuff there. TBD on that. Like, I haven't play tested this yet. I figured in the course of playing through the challenge, we'll do the play testing. But yeah, it's just a little outdoor pavilion area. Has another throne, has a couple chairs, has a dance floor, and that's pretty much it for like the main like structures. And then the last little bit here, we're just going to be doing some terrain painting and some landscaping. I put the paths down just to kind of have like a natural walking path between everything. This was put together very, very quickly, so it's not super involved at all. But I figured have a few plants, have a few trees, have like the cobblestone over the dirt. I did put a swing set. I was going to put like a full playground, but I realized I was kind of running out of room, so I figured at least put the swing set in for when the kids get older. And yeah, like I said, this is all kind of, I think this will probably mostly work for what we need for the rest of this challenge, but if we need to make any tweaks, we will. But overall, that's pretty much it. So finish out the last few minutes of this speed build, and I'll give you guys a full tour, and then I'll be posting the next Regency episode alongside it where we move back in, so you guys can enjoy it then. So All right, so we have our updated pavilion tent residence with our throne room tower, our little dance floor, outdoor throne room, and our kids tent. Technically, I did just do a playthrough through the Rags to Regency episode. If you would like to actually see that in action, I'll be posting this episode at the same time as that. I did have to make a few changes in the game, so I'm going to go ahead and make those here. I need to rearrange the bed a little bit because the Sims had trouble getting into it. So I'm moving the tables out. I'm just moving this out slightly. The coffee maker that I bought is the salvage version, so I'm going to try to replace this with the actual working version, which I think I can do. I think through debug I get the actual like working version. If not, you might just have to switch it out, but I think that'll be fine. Surprisingly enough, like privacy wasn't an issue with these little dividers up using the restroom, but the Sims tend to ignore them and they try to put the people through the wall, so just keep that in mind. The other thing I had to change, I have 2 toddler kid beds in here. Since my Sims are still infants, they don't use these yet, so I replaced both of them. But for the gallery version, I'm just gonna put one down, and I'm gonna put the one that I've been using from the nursery bedroom nursery storybook nursery kit. So I'm gonna put one of these down, and you can switch it out as you need to. I also wasn't sure if these rugs were impacting it or not, so I'm just gonna temporarily, for the gallery version anyway, I'm just gonna put like a rug in the hallway, so I think it should be fine out there. But yeah, I think that is pretty much it. Oh, and I forgot, I don't think I added a mailbox, so let's go ahead and fix that. And we'll do, actually I like the seasons mailbox, so we'll stick that right there. And I think those are the only changes we needed, so we should be good. I should be good to put this up on the gallery if you guys want to download this for whatever reason. So let's call this Pavilion Tent Home. I will save it to my library. So Pavilion Tent Home, a home set up for my Rags to Regency Let's Play. Build was inspired by Medieval, I'm not sure if I'm spelling any of this right, Pavilion Tents. Hope you enjoy. Hashtag DorianKoholi. And I think technically we have 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. Saved a lot to library, and then we'll save it up on the gallery. And hopefully it does use a few packs. I own all the packs, so I'm not sure why. When I was playing through, it was telling me it had stuff I didn't actually purchase, so I'm not sure what that was. But I'll put this up on the gallery if you want to download it. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it, friends. So thank you guys for watching another build video. If you like this, please consider dropping a like. Please leave a comment what you'd like to see me build next. If you have any tips or recommendations for how we might be able to make this spot a little bit better, but it seems to be working okay. If you guys want to watch episode 8, none of the rest of the game worked. Trying to record this particular episode of Rags to Regency was a cluster. I just kept having like game issues like right and left, so I need to go make sure I've updated all my mods. I thought I did, but I might have missed something. But anyway, let me know what you guys would like to see me build next, or if you have any suggestions for improvements. If you have not already subscribed to the channel, I hope you'll consider doing so. I am trying to grow this channel. You guys have been such an immense and amazing support for that so far, so thank you. But with all that, my friends, I hope you have a very amazing day, and I will see you next time. Bye, everybody.